RDTDaily.com presents a Tarabuster with comedian Tara Devlin.
Yo, yo, what's going on? It's very dark in this house. Where'd my lighting go? What's up? I'm looking very close to the camera. Oh, well, who cares? Look at Boudica. Don't look at me. Look at Booty in the background. All right, my name is Tara Devlin. Thank you for hanging out. Unapologetic liberal talk on the right side of history, decency, dignity, democracy, humanity. What is this fucking thing lagging already? Am I lagging like a laggard? Oh my God in heaven. How's everybody doing? I see you there in the chat. Nice to see you, Ed. Let's hope things hold up. Alrighty. Where am I? Nice to see you, Matt. Nice to see you, Ed. Welcome to the show. That was my song for you guys. And thank you, Charlie from APS Radio News, for all you do to make the world a better place. And God damn it, we need that. Mamma mia, what a world. What a fucked up world. Oops, I cursed. Okay, we're doing a simulcast with Robyn Kincaid at Headon.live, but she doesn't want to go on the video today. So it's just going to be, she'll be audio only. And, oh shit, my restream just, I hope we're still fucking, I'm right, I have my head up my ass, technically, tonight. I started the show before I finished setting things up. So, the restream, okay, looks like it's going, in spite of me. Let's call Robyn, and I sent her a text, but she didn't get back to me. Sent her a warning text. Are you there? Let me send another one. Just giving you a heads up. Just giving you a heads up. I'm calling now. You got to give people a heads up. Is Robyn okay? Yeah, she's got a lot of, I think it's very cold in the studio, and I don't think she's, in the mood for a camera. And also, tomorrow the Tara show with me and Tara Dublin starts at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time at the Political Voices channel on YouTube. The Political Voices Network. Let me see if I can find that right now and put it in. I should put it in the description. Political Voices Network. I know I'm singing, I'm cursing, and we haven't even really begun the show yet. I'm in a mood. I'm in a bad mood. Yeah. Okay, she just got back to me. I'm just really sick of everything. The immorality. That's why I named the show The Immorality of Being MAGAt. Because it's just absolutely, they're disgusting. And I'm sick of them. And we are sick from them. And I don't know. I don't know how we get through. I guess we could talk about this with Robyn, because I don't really know how we're going to get through this. And, we'll unify. How are we going to unify with people that want to drink our tears? That's the thing that really gets me. With everything else that, of course, the corporate media will never point out, that the basic immorality and indecency of people who are motivated merely by drinking the tears of others, of their fellow Americans. It's really disgusting and vile, and that's how it has to be approached, not that they're simply, this is what motivates them. They just want to own the libs. They want to drink liberal tears, as if that's something normal. It's not normal. And we have normalized it, and now we're at the point to where Trader Trump is declaring himself a king and daring anybody to do anything about it. So, I don't know. The French had a remedy for this, and it was called the National Razor. And I often wonder, in my own private apocalypse in my mind, when we're going to get to that point. Because it's coming. You can't fire millions of people and disparage them. Giddily fire people. Our fellow Americans. Joe Biden gave this baboon an economy that was the envy of the developed world, of the Western world. He gave him the lowest unemployment rate in over 60 years. And the first thing this baboon and his sociopathic, unelected South African parasite billionaire does is they fire millions of Americans just without consideration, without any cause, with nothing but the objective of destroying America. That's what they're doing. And the MAGAts, F you. You voted for this? I hope it don't hurt too little when the leopards come for your face. I ain't gonna cry over it, as we did a show the other day, how they're all trying to get carve-outs. All these MAGAt states are trying to get carve-outs for their states. Good luck, bubby. But I would love to take my blue state dollars and keep it here. But now, we have this fucking Mayor Adams here. This MAGAt himself, and he's just another piece of shit. All right, but before I get dinged by YouTube, hold on. People are fucking. Why is everybody fucking? I'm so pissed. Texting me. Leave me alone. I'm on the air. Oh, God. Leave me alone. Leave me alone. Everybody leave me alone. All right. Sorry. This is what happens when you just finally go cuckoo. You go on your podcast and you start singing, "Everybody leave me alone," right? You just fucking crack up on the air. Everybody leave me alone. Bing, bing, bing. That's what happens. And you know what else is pissing me off? When I go on my Skype, I get all these spams. You probably get it too. Buy gold. We want to connect to you with the right price for gold. Good luck. Good luck. Great account for demo trading. Let's all put it. Oh, it's the greatest thing I've ever seen. Fuck off, MAGAts. MAGAts they like to sell gold to their dupes. All right. Everybody leave me alone. That's a good song. I just made that up, too. I just created that song right off the fly. I'm like Paul McCartney and Lennon. It wrapped into one giant cat lady. Okay. What the fuck am I doing here? Okay, here we go. One dingy dingy. We're ringing Robyn. Bing bong.
Just gives me a "Make America Great Again" tingle. It is right. Well, somewhere.
Uh-oh. You got a tingle?
Tara. Hey, Tara.
What's that buzzing?
Oh, buzzing going.
I got buzzing and I got an echo of me.
Stand by.
I got buzzing. I got echoes.
You got no buzzing and the echo should go away.
Yeah, it's gone. Mm-hmm.
It's gone.
You're
Yeah,
good.
the
Well,
echo-
I
the
heard
echo-
myself again. Wait a minute.
Yeah, the
1, 2,
echo
3?
comes in at the beginning of the call, but then it resolves when whatever the technical magic
Yeah,
is.
Skype is
happens.
annoying. We should
Yeah,
use Zoom.
it is.
I heard that Zoom is better for something like this. Have you ever used Zoom?
No, I haven't. We've got the community's used to using Skype. I've had people say,
I see.
You need to use Discord, and it's like, no.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, that's true. Discord too, I guess. But because I posted something in the Ecamm community, and because I had a question, how can I not? Yeah, how can because this is what I wanted to do is to be able to have Skype guests. Or even you, who's not really a guest, it's a simulcast. Wait, hold on. Stupid music. See? You don't hear that music, but I hear it. But
yes, I do.
Oh,
I heard that.
You heard that? Wait, hold on.
Yes.
You hear this? But you might hear it through my headset.
No, I hear it.
Oh, you hear it. Huh. Well, maybe they did something then. That's interesting. Because usually, if I have a guest, they never hear the music, and I'm always like, hold on, here's the music. And
yeah, that's why if I ever do go to video, I'm going to use a hardware solution and not a software one.
Yeah, but I'm telling you, what people told me with the Ecamm is that why are you bothering with Skype? If you use Zoom or something else, it does it automatically. And in fact, I checked it out, and it does. Like, you don't even have like enough of the struggling is this supposed to be switched? Is that supposed to be off? And it just works. But yes, I understand. You're hardware gal. So.
Well, I am because I'm in control of everything.
Yeah.
And they can't really mess with my ability to get a program out by fucking up the software.
Huh.
By the way, Jeremy says, Tara, we all heard the music.
Oh. Okay, well, I guess something went different because that's the first time that ever happened. Maybe they fixed it. Maybe the Ecamm people. I don't know. I don't know because I didn't do anything. Except,
as Stephen New York points out, using Zoom for longer than 40 minutes at once requires a subscription. Skype doesn't require one.
I see.
We are, after all, a shoestring broadcasting operation.
Well,
here.
there you go. All right, everybody fuck off. Like, get off my back here.
Nobody's on your back. This is I'm
in a pissy mood.
The SBC, the Shoestring Broadcasting Corporation.
Yeah. I was just telling everybody because I was having a nervous breakdown on the air just right before I called you because I was telling everybody because a friend of mine texted me at the same. Everybody was like up my ass, and I was just like, everybody leave me alone. And that's how I'm gonna have a nervous breakdown. When you get on the air, your own YouTube show, and you start screaming into the camera, "Everybody, leave me alone!" It's like, well, you don't have to do a YouTube show, so, and we'll fucking leave you alone. But anyway, all right. Am I making any sense? I'm in a pissy mood.
You are, and I apologize for not doing video this evening. It's just.
It's okay. You're not in the mood.
It's frightfully cold back here, and you really wouldn't see much other than my face sticking out from under a toboggan.
Huh. Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah, it's cold. I hear you. It's cold here, too.
And we've got a winter storm warning through, 1 o'clock tomorrow afternoon.
Oh. How bad is it going to get? Or what do they predict?
I mean, our overnight low will be down around 13.
But do you have enough heat for...
I've got another 6-pack of propane that I have to go out into the frigid cold and bring in out of the car. But yeah.
Oh, you got to get it.
We'll get into tomorrow at least.
That's good.
And if we could bring down the fundraising goal with the Darlene's $100 shakedown challenge on the table.
And everybody knows. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. No. Tell people because what you're doing. So.
Well, I mean, quite frankly, there's a lot of stress right now. Winter is always stressful here. Spring, summer, fall, manageable. But the frigid, hateful depths of winter are brutal because the electricity usage goes up. We have no furnace here, so it's electric space heaters and propane. Electric space heaters are ridiculous energy hogs. And the house is almost 90 years old. Okay. And it's drafty as hell. probably best renovated with a book of matches if you want to get right down to it, but that's not that's not an option. They frown on that around here. And
What's
I
you
don't
got?
have-
Well, we shouldn't talk about
don't
this
have any
on the
way of
air.
replacing
What's
it,
your
but-
insurance? You got insurance on that?
No, this house is so old that insurance companies won't touch it.
Oh, okay. Well, then
we
there's
don't-
no
because we
point
don't-
in burning it down, then, right?
Yeah, because we don't have a we don't have a furnace.
Yeah.
And so,
shit.
State Farm, what the locals refer to as State Farm lightning, ain't even a viable option. But no, there's a lot. I mean, just trying to keep all the bills paid, eat some food once in a while, and then deal with what I got coming up next month is breathtaking.
Yeah, tell people.
Well, I mean, I've mentioned it already, but
Not to my Tarabuster
no,
people.
not that's true. That's true. Not to yours. I'm having my final surgery on March the 11th, and my darling Victoria and I are going down to North Carolina, and she's going to take care of me after the surgery.
Good. That's great.
And we'll be gone for 2 to 3 weeks, and that means living in a hotel, which ain't cheap.
No. What would you? What about maybe? Well, I mean, I'm sure you've
Yeah,
considered it all, like
yeah,
a
I think
Airbnb
I may,
or something. Yeah.
No, see, that's the thing. With an Airbnb, you have to clean up when you leave, and it's
Oh,
not
you
like
do?
it's not like it's not like we're going to live like pigs there or anything. But
You'd
being
rather
2
have
weeks,
right.
being 2 weeks post-op, I'm gonna be under restrictions, and I can't do a lot of heaving and lifting
Right.
and
Well,
sweating.
what the
and,
fuck
yeah.
you gonna do in their apartment except lay there?
Right.
What
I
are you
know,
gonna?
but you still,
You're
but you
gonna
still have
trash
to
the
go
place.
through, and you got to clean the counters, and you got to, or else you don't get your deposit back.
All right, motherfucker.
I've been down this road.
Okay.
So,
honey,
hotel
okay,
it is.
Relax.
I mean,
I'd rather
and,
have a hotel too. Who doesn't want a maid coming in and fucking cleaning and making the bed every day? Ooh, I love that.
Well, I mean, that's not going to happen. It's been a while since you've been in a hotel, hasn't it?
Yeah. What do you mean?
Oh,
Why?
most of them
They don't
say,
make the bed now.
Most of them say you will receive housekeeping services only upon request.
Oh yes, that's true. Most of them do that. Even the good ones.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
Well,
And
I
frankly,
would
when you're-
request
and frankly,
it. Really.
when you're recovering from surgery, you don't want to be, crawling out of bed and standing there in your jammies while the
Yeah.
housekeeping staff
Right.
remakes your bed for you to, crawl back in and
True.
ruin again.
Okay. All right.
But
Get off
I'll
my
be,
case.
I will be. I'll be on the air every night. Well, I'm going to give myself 3 days post-op to just lay
Right.
around and be lazy.
Okay. Lazy.
And then hopefully Friday on the front porch, the 14th, I'll be back on the air. I'll be off
Good.
the air 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th. There are going to be some stitches in my mouth, so hopefully that won't affect my ability to speak.
Wow. You're so lucky. You're getting like a whole new makeover here.
I'm just trying to make all the masculinity go away.
No, it's great. Congrats. Can't
Thank
wait.
you.
And it's awesome. I'm glad you're doing it. I'm actually I wanted you to do it last time, but it's all where it's supposed to be. It's supposed to
Exactly.
happen now. No,
Yeah,
because I'm
exactly.
glad that this opportunity came back again, because I felt
Right.
like,
I didn't know that it would. So when they told
Right.
me that March 11th, I was like, yes, ma'am. Yes,
Of
ma'am.
course.
Be right there.
Right. And if it comes right back in your lap twice, that's not, you can't do that. You can't turn it away the second time. That's for sure.
No,
and I'm glad you
I
didn't.
I just want to be done.
Yeah. And
I mean,
it'll be
this
yourself
This
then.
is literally done.
Right. Exactly. And you'll be, and that's it. It's all behind you. And then you just got everything in front of you. You don't have to worry about it. Right? Then you run for
Yeah.
office and do all that shit.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
Or
Whatever. Or run for your life.
Well, I mean, there is that, or be hostess on a game show. I don't know.
Right.
Seems to,
Right.
or who knows? Get to go to work for the multimillionaire for-profit media. No, I'm not going to kid myself on that one.
You never know.
Sure. But no, there's a bunch of stories that I've been sort of sitting on during
Okay.
the first hour of the program, because I wanted I wanted you here
let's
for us
do
to
it.
talk about it together.
I'm in a pissed off mood, so this is
Okay.
good.
Well, I ain't gonna make it any better.
No, I
Tara.
know. I'm glad. I'm in a bad mood. Because of what we're under, this tyranny and the fucking, I hate them all. And then what you, I already hate them, but then what you texted me earlier, I didn't know. I mean, this the fucking disgrace, the inhumanity, the indecency, it never stops. And that you said that they had taken.
Well, I mean, let's share the story.
Okay.
And as a
because that's what
preamble
you're
to-
going to talk about. All right.
Well, I'm going to talk about. We're going to talk about a lot of things. In fact, let me check here. Precursor to the story we're going to start with, and I'm done apologizing for bringing this issue up, because these are the issues of our day. To not talk about these issues would be to bury our heads in the sand. MAGAts, when you hear these stories, because we have lurkers, when you hear these stories, understand, MAGAt, that when you went and voted for Orange Man because it just gave you the creeping horrors that there would be a brown lady in the Oval Office.
All right, that's it.
This hate, this horror is what you voted for, okay? Own it. Own it, you goddamn monsters. Own it. And I mean it, they're monsters.
Yes, they are.
The
You're
head
singing
monster
my
is
song.
doing what the other monsters wanted him to do. He
Yep.
promised them over the course of an entire goddamn campaign that he would do this, and they said, "Yay, Daddy!
Yeah.
I can't wait."
Yeah, they want him to hurt their fellow Americans. They can't. They're like enemies of America. No one is more pleased about America's pain, causing pain to their fellow Americans than MAGAts and Putin, I would imagine. How do you have an entire party that operates on hurting their fellow Americans? That's what they want to do, and they only see the light when the sting of the lash falls on their shoulders. Then it's like, hey, my, right? Me,
Yeah.
Sir, I voted for you, sir. If you've been watching,
Sir, I voted for you to
Yeah.
make America great again.
I'm sure you didn't mean my job, my this, my that,
Yeah, well,
my
I mean,
subsidy,
that's like what was his name, Zachary Levi, the MAGAt, yesterday, saying, "Please, Mr. Trump, there are good Trump-supporting government workers. Stop hurting them."
yes.
And then once he realized that he had just flushed his entire career down the toilet, he said, "Well, I didn't mean just the Trump-voting government workers. There are other good government workers,
Oh,
too."
you motherfuckers. Well, they are immoral, these people, and they don't have, and this is where I wonder if we can succeed at all as a unified country, because these people, they simply don't possess the decency, the maturity, the morality, the humanity to function, what is required to function in a free, diverse, democratic society. They don't have it. And that's why they'd rather tear it down and have a king. That's what they want. They want,
and the whole king thing is on the list too.
yeah.
And I saved that story because you and I are
Okay.
both aficionados
Oh yeah.
of Roman history.
Right. And then actually, I just wrote this little piece on thinking about what the Democrats can do. It made me think of how Hannibal had kicked the Romans' ass for 10 years in the Second Punic Wars, right? And how did they finally beat him? They the Scipio, who became known as Scipio Africanus because he beat Hannibal, learned from Hannibal's own tactics and then employed them against him. And that's how the Romans finally, triumphed over their nemesis that had given them the Battle of Cannae. It had just decimated their entire army, lost more people in one day than we lost in the Vietnam War. And
yeah.
but And that's what I thought
But
with the Democrats.
We'll get there, but I don't want us to. We'll
No,
get
I
there,
know,
but I don't
but
want us
I
to get ahead of ourselves.
No, I'm sorry. But the point was that I just think that that's how Democrats have to operate now, like the Republicans operated for years. Like when Mitch McConnell sent out a memo after Obama won. You know, they won the Democrats won the House, the Senate, and the presidency, and it was in a crisis. And the Republicans vowed to hurt the American people for political gain by stopping anything, by doing everything, like by having to read the entire bill on the floor, whatever it would be, to slow things down.
We will make Barack Obama a one-term president.
Right. And that's what the Democrats have to do, to slow everything down, even if they have to read every bill on the floor, if they have to object to every sentence in the bill, until we can get to either get those MAGAts, that parasite out of our body politic, Musk and his incels, or it's the midterms already. And, you know, but I mean, they're lawless, as we know, but that's what they have to do. You can't, I'm so sick of the Democrats on TV. I'm hearing them say, well, we'll try to find common ground where we can. Who is advising these people? Common ground with people who are basically the domestic enemies the founders warned us about. They're not operating in good faith. They will never become any interested in having a functioning democracy. They need to be smashed legally and peacefully into the trash bin of history. And anyway, okay, sorry. I know MAGA delenda S. Yeah, absolutely. Because they're not American. They're not pro-America. They hate America, and it has to be said. That's why that's what the Democrats need to say. They don't like. They love. They talk about small government. They love government fine. They just don't like democracy, and what they're doing is tearing it down. And that, they may not have the ability to function in a democracy, but that doesn't give them the right to destroy our system of government that the founders, then so many other patriots fought, bled, and died to entrust to us. And, how dare they even try? Let them move to Russia if that's what the kind of system they want. But that's what they're doing. They're making it, they're entrenching oligarchy. They're tearing down the government, so the American people have no lifelines, have no connection to the government. They have any.
So that we will finally, as the Republicans have worked for decades, generations to do, make the American people stop seeing the fundamental truth of the Constitution of the United States. We, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union.
That's right.
The Republicans have, for ages, talked about the government and they and them.
Yep.
And this isn't within the context of they and no. The government is an other.
Right.
It is not we the people.
Mm-hmm. And it's something to be reviled.
And they've been wildly successful at it.
Yeah, because they have very powerful and well-funded assholes who give them their, amplify all of these messages. It's propaganda that spreads this shit. And that's why I hate to say, I'm not a genius, I'm not a political genius, but it just seems to me like common sense, right? That it's the media and our money and politics that have brought us to this point. Because these MAGAts, all you got to do is just study any period of time in our history and go to like whatever they're talking about. They're not coming up with this shit on their own. They're hearing it on a very well-funded, well-coordinated propaganda
stream.
Yeah, all of the sudden, it's like, like back when Obamacare, death panels. That's all we fucking heard about. We couldn't we couldn't have a normal town hall anymore with our local representative because we would go and there would be the precursors to the MAGAts, the teabaggers, screaming and disrupting the meeting. Because this is what they have done to us. They have reduced us to, little bully trolls who don't know how to behave. And acting like a fucking child is the American birthright. Like with J.D. Vance calling, who do you call? Oh, Mehdi Hassan, a dick or something like that. Don't be a dick, or don't. Oh no, you're a dummy. You're a dummy. It's like all these stupid little names that they use and they call people. It's so beneath the decency and the dignity of anyone. Like, when I think about the people who fucking died for this country, it breaks my heart to know that these young men, and all the men who stormed the beaches of Normandy are lying in their cold early graves and this is the thanks they get.
Yeah.
Is this disgrace, these absolute greed-centered ghouls, the disgrace, the selfishness, the pettiness, the smallness,
the vulgarity.
Yes, I mean, it's so...
The pig-eyed meanness.
It's so
the
disgusting.
Cruelty that
Exactly.
is
The cruelty. The
and
cruelty.
I wanna, within this context, let me bring up the fact that, Nitwit Nero recently, as you know, said, "He who saved his country does not violate
Right.
any law."
That's what they think, though.
Leon Scum retweeted that.
Oh, fuck
him.
Fuck him.
I know.
Where is the pitchforks? Where are the pitchforks and torches?
Hold on. When he retweeted it, he put 14 American flags above it.
Oh, like 14 words or something like that?
Yeah, the 14 words. Yes.
It's yeah.
And he posted it.
It's the dog
he posted
whistles.
It at 2:14 on President's Day.
Oh, there you go. Oh, it's just a coincidence.
Yeah, let's see.
He's just autistic, yeah.
He doesn't understand.
He doesn't know. He's just a child. He doesn't know.
And for anybody else who doesn't understand, the 14 words come from an American domestic terrorist named David Eden Lane, who was a fucking Nazi.
Mm-hmm. A monster.
And the 14 words...
Who hates America. Mm-hmm.
We must secure the existence of our people and a future for white children. And then there's a secondary slogan, because the beauty of the white Aryan woman must not perish from the earth.
Jesus Christ. It's so tedious. Ugh. The beauty. See, they're only doing it because they love and they're cherishing beauty. And
yeah, this is the same son of a bitch who aided and abetted the murder of the talk radio host Alan Berg.
Oh, who did that?
Back in 1984, this domestic terrorist, David Eden Lane.
Okay.
But the 14 words are a Nazi rallying cry, and so Leon Scum posted 14 American flags above Nitwit Nero's declaration of his godhood, for a lack of better for it. Mm-hmm. So, but I wanted to, because what we're about to go into, trigger warning, content warning. I have not mentioned this story. I'm sorry I haven't. I'm profoundly sorry I haven't. It's the story of a young man, a young trans man named Sam Nordquist. He met someone online from upstate New York named Precious Artsuaga. And they began an online relationship. Sam was a young man. You'll notice I'm using the past tense. He was 24 years old. He came from Minnesota. He worked in a care home for developmentally disabled individuals, which is it is not a job, it is a calling. And he was excited to meet his new girlfriend, Precious, and arrived in upstate New York in the Finger Lakes area and disappeared. law enforcement officials are saying that the case is the most horrific crime. Captain Kelly Swift of the New York State Police said it's the most horrific crime she's ever investigated in 20 years in law enforcement. Because Sam Nordquist was met by Precious and her friends, Emily Motika, Jennifer A. Quijano, Kyle Sage, and Patrick A. Goodwin. And they kidnapped him and tortured him.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
In a shitty little hotel for a month.
Oh, no.
And raped him daily with a table leg.
Oh, my God. Are these, what?
He was a person of color. Like I said, he was a trans man.
So they catfished
him. They tortured him until he died and then dumped his body in a field.
Oh, my God.
And the story is not getting anywhere near what it deserves.
Thanks, Republican. I mean, not that bad things don't happen, but this is the kind of thing that happens when you target a community like the trans community. And, yeah, people do things like this. It's like
Advocacy
Matthew Shepard.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing. I saw a post online who said, "We owe it to Sam to keep making a big fuss with social media posts and huge memorial services. Don't let this man who represents hundreds of other transgender people murdered yearly who died in a motel torture chamber be forgotten.
Unbelievable.
Confront the trans hatred coming from Trump, Musk, Vance, and other Republicans. Use Sam's face, name, and the circumstances of his death. Let's not forget Sam Nordquist."
Wow. I didn't even hear about this.
And you're in New York.
Uh-huh. Wow. Oh, look at this now. New York State investigators say sorry, I can't talk. New York State investigators say trans man's death was not a hate crime. What? Huh? Why? What was it then? It says police are still investigating the brutal death of 24-year-old transgendered man Sam Nordquist, a death that rocked the LGBTQ plus community. And let's see, first reported missing by family after becoming concerned they hadn't heard from him. Let's see. I'm just trying to get to where they say, why is this not a hate crime? Kathy Hochul announced she had directed the New York State Division of Human Rights Hate and Bias Prevention Unit to aid with the case. All New Yorkers should join to condemn this horrific act, she said in a statement. We are praying for Sam Nordquist's family, community, and loved ones who are experiencing unimaginable grief. But investigators announced on Tuesday that Nordquist's death would not be treated as a hate crime, as some or all of his alleged killers were also members of the LGBTQ community. The New York Times reports, which adds another interesting dimension, and that's another thing that should be discussed. There is a lot of anti-trans bias in the gay community too.
Yes, there certainly is.
Yep. I've encountered it with gay people that I know, and talking to them, and it's just, to me, it's a little shocking. Well,
you have to, if you go all the way back to Stonewall, you can find accounts of Marsha P. Johnson and Sylvia Rivera, who literally threw the first bricks.
Mm-hmm.
Would try to speak at gay rights rallies and would be shouted down.
Right. And
told to fuck off.
Huh. Well, there were some, I guess, lesbian, what do you call, like, I don't know, super lesbians in a way, that find that, and I know this, it's not true. I mean, trans people are different, of course, than people who dress up in drag, of course, but I found that there seems to be a lot of bias. Not a lot. I've seen it in lesbians that think that you're not truly
Gold,
a
you mean
woman.
gold stars, etc. Yeah.
Like you don't have the. I mean, it's like I don't know. And I was talking to somebody once, and I'm like, look. In fact, you would have to, in my opinion, like somebody who is a trans woman, they've almost got to be even more woman. Like they pay the price. Yeah, we're born. We're just lucky. We hit the genetic luck. Whatever. I'm lucky enough. I was born. I don't have that. That other burden to bear. And I know how hard it was just being gay. And I just think that if somebody's trans, they're just because they never got their period or whatever. Like what the fuck? It's so a lot of women, don't get their periods. Things happen.
And trans men bear a special burden. Mm-hmm. And I'm not trying to other here, because a lot of times the way law enforcement is,
right,
when a trans man is sexually assaulted. They will misgender him.
Yep. That's right.
And in some instances, when they are killed, they will bury them and misgender them in death.
Of course. Yep. Well, that's the family too. Will do that.
Yeah.
They don't respect.
It's absolutely horrifying. Mm-hmm. And I bring this up as a preface to what we're going to be talking about. There's so many of these things. Sam had flown to New York to meet Precious.
Poor thing. Yeah. I mean, it's just so sad.
His family had not heard from him since January 1st. His body was found dumped in a body. Or his body was found dumped in a field. I'm sorry, I'm kind of tongue-tied, upset about this. But his mama called in a missing persons report, which eventually led to the discovery of his body.
Wow.
And that brings us to the next story.
Jesus Christ, I'm reading it too.
Over at the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children.
I know.
It's a nonprofit that works closely with government and big tech to publicize children when they go missing. And they receive federal funding. Mm-hmm. And so with the spate of illegal, emphasis on the word, illegal executive orders, organizations scared to death for their funding have anticipatorily complied.
Yeah, because they were threatened with loss of funding.
Defunding.
Yeah.
And so now, in just a horrifyingly shameful act, the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children has scrubbed all reference to queer and trans kids from its website. They may still be missing. They may still be exploited.
Wow. I mean, how much money do they get?
They don't exist anymore.
Right. And this is
according to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. If Nitwit Nero says, stop mentioning the girls who go missing and are exploited, they'll do that too, I guess.
This is how, I was, when I was younger and learning about the rise and fall of the Third Reich. When I was a kid, my father was a big World War II buff, and it was really upsetting to me when I was fascinated by the fact that I just couldn't wrap my mind around the concentration camps and how could this happen. And I always kind of felt lucky, in my childish or, younger view of or understanding of America. I thought we were the good guys. And that now there's no question. How did it happen? It's happening here. We're watching how it happens.
We're living it.
Yeah,
We're soaking in it.
how the cowardice. That's what's so shocking. How quickly these corporations and other entities, agencies, comply. People that don't, like Jeff Bezos, for example, continues to comply, to not want to upset the dear leader. Or anyone, the fucking Zuckerberg and all these other assholes who, billionaires who shouldn't exist. But if they don't, they don't have the spine to stand up to this prick, what chance does anybody have? Do we have? Who we're not billionaires, and it's so shameful. And I hope, when we get to the other side of this, when I try to think about where we're going, I hope.
I love your optimism.
I know
that there's a when to the other side of this.
Well, that's what I'm just putting a qualifier there. When I think, okay, well, maybe, there are some Buddhist sayings like winter always turns to spring. I mean, it's not that Buddhism only says that, but, we all know the dark is before the dawn and all that. That's not a Buddhist saying, but it is. It's true. Everything changes. Everything comes to an end eventually, and the Nazis, they were cheered for 10 years. They had power for 10 years, and
tomorrow belongs to us.
Mm-hmm. And it certainly seemed, if you watch those old newsreels, that they weren't, they were in a position of strength, especially in the beginning. Could you imagine, Hitler marching into Poland, he had all these victories initially without even firing a shot, taking over Austria and, just basically doing what this monster's doing, challenging the Constitution similarly, right? And the Constitution keeps folding. And so I think at the time, sometimes I think about the people, the normal people at that time must have been completely horrified and felt like it would never end. But it did. And unfortunately, by the time it did, what was it, 85 million, 125 million human beings went to their cold early graves. It's going to end. People are going to get hurt in the meantime, of course. But it will end eventually, and I wonder. This is what I think about. I wonder. Of course, maggots only see the light when something affects them, if they're even reachable, though. And but I do think we will get to a point where, and this is what I hope. I don't know, though. I do hope that we get to a point where we see it's just so effing repugnant and. There's no excusing it. This is not even when they're taking the information off the websites, you think they think that's the right thing to do. They know it's disgusting. They know it's immoral, but I don't know. I guess they're just following orders, right? And I guess for the Center for Missing and Exploited Children, they're thinking, well, we need our funding, and we'll just have to sacrifice this. And I guess they think they're doing it for the greater good, because I don't know. Everybody, this has to. What do you do? Right. People should
think. Who not being argumentative. Who do you think thinks this is for the greater good?
No,
the MAGAts.
The MAGAts. Yeah, they probably do. The MAGAts. They.
We've got to immiserate federal employees so they can have $1.29 a dozen eggs.
Yeah. No, they
Even
hate.
Though it's not going to result in $1.29 a dozen eggs.
Of course, they hate their fellow Americans. That's why I'm saying which makes me wonder if they, they're just a lost cause. And they always have been a lost cause, but we've been able to drag them along kicking and screaming. And the Democrats, of course, and the normal people have been far too nice to them and too generous by being, gracious to them. Oh, well, look, look at this one. They voted for it, this or that, when they're really a small d anti-democratic party. They are, fundamentally. And they never wanted to live in a multiracial liberal democracy. That's for sure.
Right. And something Cynthia in the Bay Area just said, I've long been saying the American people really aren't any different from the German people in Nazi Germany. Mm-hmm. And that's made more sickening to me, given the example of that history. Here we go again.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's
look, the Deutsche Hausfrauen wanted cheap eggs too.
Right. And
who was it? Was it Rommel? Rommel lived in the quarters of the headmaster of a Jewish school toward the end of his life. It was a lovely home. Oh
yeah. Well, that's it. All these jobs opened up, and the nice apartments opened up, and hey, wow. When their neighbors disappeared in the middle of the night. And that's the other thing. They knew. They saw the slave labor.
United States, I think back to Korematsu. Look what Americans did when Japanese Americans were dispossessed of their homes.
Of course.
They rushed in and took over the property.
Right. Of course. Yeah. Yep.
I mean, there is a long and ugly fascist streak in this country,
and it's the races. Well, they only could do that.
I mean, there's apocryphal information that says that Hitler studied how the United States treated people of color, and indigenous people, as he formulated his plan for the Jews.
Well, they modeled off the Jim Crow
and
laws.
The disabled,
and
the Roma,
right? Exactly. But,
and the communists and the trade unionists.
Right. But it's always racism. I mean, the only reason they could put Japanese in internment camps is because they were considered an inferior race. And they didn't do that to the German Americans, because they were white. You understand? I mean, as I know you understand, but that's exactly it.
There's some great, some not great, but there's some history here in West Virginia. You know what the Greenbrier Resort is, right?
No.
It's been a playground for millionaires and robber barons for well over 100 years. It's big, beautiful resort down in Greenbrier County. Hot springs, mineral baths. Well, when the Second World War came along, we turned the Greenbrier into a prison camp for POW Nazis. We did not send the Japanese there.
Right.
No. No. But just to come back to what Micah says, they don't see us as they don't see trans people as real Americans. They don't see us as humans.
That's right.
Absolutely. So over at the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, they had a report on missing children with suicidal tendencies.
Oh God.
They had a report on male victims of child sex trafficking. They had a macro analysis of children missing from care.
Wow.
All three of those reports have been scrubbed sometime after January the 24th because they mentioned trans kids.
Wow. It's absolutely disgusting, and I mean it's shameful.
They also removed, oh my God, 3 guides to recognizing and preventing child sex trafficking.
Why? Because MAGAts won't be able to follow their blueprint or something, or what is it?
Well, I mean, one overview that's now gone. It talks about homeless kids who've been kicked out due to lack of acceptance of their sexual orientation or gender identity.
Those good Christians that do things like that, of course, yeah.
One guide for parents mentions the victims of child sex trafficking as including boys, girls, and transgender youth. Gone.
Shame on them. Shame. It's just like, it's stunning, and that's why, like, the people like Jeff Bezos and Zuckerberg, if and when we get to the other side of this, they have got to be vilified. But I highly doubt they will, though. They're gonna have to. They're gonna try to flush it down the memory hole.
Yeah,
you know?
and of course, all this comes out of the Department of Justice. So this is the work
Oh,
of
yeah.
Pam Blond.
Yeah.
This is the work of Pam
Pig.
Blondie, and of course the work of Emile Beauvais, accent grave over the E. And I can't remember this horrid, disgusting, repulsive lump of protoplasm passing as a human, who is the designee for the Civil Rights Division. She's a notorious transphobe. She's campaigned against. She's campaigned against trans kids in California.
Unbelievable! What a
and
pig!
So the diktat came down from the DOJ saying that NCMEC's funding would be entirely pulled unless they reviewed the site and scrubbed transgender lives from it.
Wow! And they did. So I mean, what could they do in the alternative? Let's say. Just shut the whole fucking thing
among
down.
Other things, they could contact any of a number of groups that legal groups that handle claims like this.
Yeah.
Sue the motherfucker.
Right.
Get a temporary restraining order.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And
That's
continue with their mission.
That's what they could do. Yeah, they should. I mean, this is the thing. The courts, hoping and wishing for the courts to save us, but he's not following anything now. He's violating court orders openly and calling himself a king. So I don't know. Yeah.
I mean, imagine the sadism of an allegedly full-grown man attacking children.
I know. That's
attacking
who they
children,
are.
and he's doing it at the behest of his boss, Leon Scum, because Leon Scum is butthurt.
Yep.
Because a trans woman had an affair with one of his girlfriends. And one of his wives ran off with a trans woman.
That's right. And he has a trans daughter.
Transitioned.
Yeah. And I mean, he's a fucking Nazi. He's a goddamn, and that's
oh
God, where are the pitchforks?
Son was killed by the woke mind virus.
Fuck him, because he's a petty, puny, tiny, little parasite, and he's he's probably the worst thing that's ever happened to humanity, and that's I do hope we get to the point where people see that Elon Musk and people like him, they shouldn't exist. They need to be cut down to size. Maybe make, I don't know, the French, as I said earlier, had a remedy, right?
Well, there's
it's called the National Razor.
And this is something that Dave and the Blind was talking about the other day. Right now, Leon Scum is a bad Nazi.
Why?
He's a bad Nazi. He needs to become a good Nazi.
What do you mean bad Nazi?
Think about it.
He's a bad Nazi?
Yeah, he's a bad Nazi. Because there's only one kind of good Nazi.
Oh, I see. Yes. Oh, yes. I get it. Take me a minute. Yeah.
But it doesn't end with NCMEC. There's also RAINN, RAINN, the Rape, Abuse, and Incest National Network. They're a clearinghouse for reporting sexual violence. And they're supposed to combat sexual assault, but now they too have scrubbed all mention of transgender people from their website.
Well, I mean, these people, I wonder if there's not that it would matter, but, to contact these fuckers and just say, well, shame on you.
They sent a statement yesterday to the Washington Post saying that we made changes to comply with President Donald Trump's executive orders.
So what?
Targeting trans people.
Okay, yeah.
Organizations that do not follow the directives, many of which are being challenged in court, are at risk of losing federal grants.
Oh, well.
Our mission has not changed, a RAINN spokesperson said, and all of our services remain available to all survivors of sexual violence. We're just going to pretend that none of them are trans.
Wow.
I added the last part.
Yeah, of course. And they would please and thank you ask us to also pretend and go along to get along. Like, you're not the good guys in this story. And don't you know that I mean, this is the chance. This
mean,
was
gut
your
check.
test.
Gut check. I mean, the Lambda Legal is out there.
Right.
The ACLU is out
Yeah.
there. And yes, they are swamped. They're covered up. But they're not going to give up on their mission.
No.
And there are lots of highfalutin silk stocking lawyers in D.C. who will take on pro bono work like this.
Good people that are on the front lines fighting this fucking shit legally and peacefully.
But, the reality is trans people are 4 times more likely to be sexually assaulted.
Exactly.
As well. Well, 4 times more likely to be victims of violent crime.
Yeah.
Up to and including sexual violence. The National Center for Transgender Equality said that nearly half of the 27,715 trans people who responded to their survey in 2015 said they had experienced sexual assault. But now they've just been disappeared from the RAIN website. Because only good cisgender people get sexually assaulted. The trans people deserve it.
Well, I guess it's it's symbolic annihilation, which is
and then there's the concept of corrective rape that to which trans men are subjected to.
All right. Yeah.
Rape them back into femininity. God, it's just so gross to say. And then for trans women, there's the V card. And that's the process by which screws in prison will reward good behavior by inmates by giving them a trans woman to rape.
Oh, my God.
These are real things in America.
Uh-huh. Yeah. And it's only going to get worse.
And it's on purpose.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we're the greatest country on the face of the earth, though.
The greatest country in the history of the world on earth now, today, forever, in the universe, under God, amen. And Donald Trump's going to lower them egg prices,
The
Glory.
shining city on a hill that built on the bones of kids. A shining city on a hill where the American people, where the MAGAts like to drink your tears. They want to see you upset and cry. In fact, I don't know if I was telling you or I've told my audience on Tarabuster sometimes. Like, I play this game. I think I've told it's it's a Game of Thrones game. Okay, I play this game. I'm on a team. It's an international team. There's people from all over the world playing. That's what international means. Okay. Not that you needed me to explain that. I'm only kidding. Anyway, sometimes, and I play it to just as an escape from life, right? And I don't want to go on there and see MAGAts, okay? But every now and then, one of them will pop up in the chat, right? So there's there's a chat that is like for the whole game, and every time that somebody posts something about Trump, I'll just jump in. I can't help myself, and I say traitors support traitor Trump and whatever. I just can't let it lay out there because I don't want the international people watching this shit to think that everyone in America is a fucking maggot, an asshole, a waste of human DNA. But I have to tell you, there are more normal people and Americans on there, normal people posting, saying he's a traitor and all this other shit. But one of the things that the only thing that they have to offer is, because we were posting about all the things he was doing, all of the factual reasons why he's he's a traitor, right? And the only thing that MAGAts had were like, I'm drinking your tears. That's why I guess the tears thing is on my mind, but because this is what they do. Like, oh, I'm happy. I'm watching you all freak out, and I'm drinking your tears. Like, freaking out. It's not freaking out. It's called being a patriot. But they have nothing to offer except they want to upset you. What is the point of Trump? And then others they're saying Trump is a great American, somebody said. And then the same asshole that said Trump is a great American said that how can you call Trump a traitor but he's the president of the United States, and therefore, by definition, cannot be a traitor. And I was like, do you listen to your logic? But do you hear that? I mean, meaning that he's a king.
I know.
He is the state. He is the state. The state is him. And that's...
c'est moi. Après moi le déluge.
Yes, that's what he is, and that's what they think. He can't be a traitor. And but I don't get it. I mean, for the life of me, forever and ever, amen. I will never understand why anybody finds him appealing in any way, right? Unless you really got to hate your country.
Well, I mean, we've said it for a long time. Nitwit Nero is what a stupid person thinks a smart person sounds like.
Right. He really is.
I want to go back to one more of these stories, if I could, please.
Yes, of course.
I'm just trying to knock them all out in one evening. Tucson, Arizona. The El Rio Community Health Center. It's a nonprofit health organization, one of the largest providers of LGBTQ health care in the city of Tucson. Has also engaged in anticipatory compliance. They have now shut down all gender-affirming care to anyone under 19.
Oh, fuck that.
At this time, we continue to provide care for our patients as we await further clarifications of the judicial process.
Oh, how dare they? They have no business. And they go against science.
Well, the thing is, while they wait for judicial guidance, there's already been a temporary injunction entered against this illegal executive order. But they're going to comply anyway, because they want Daddy to see them being good. Mm-hmm. Good queers.
Wow.
And they're scrubbing references to transgender care off of their websites. Other hospitals and clinics around Arizona, the Phoenix Children's Hospital, the Prisma Community Care. Prisma returned to providing gender-affirming care on Monday, but this is, the real heroes in all of this are Planned Parenthood, who says, fuck you, we're going to do our job, and let the chips fall where they may. But El Rio, this one particular LGBTQ health center, has gotten $12.3 million from the Department of Health and Human Services over the last year. So they're going to protect that money instead of, trans kids. Meanwhile, since we're talking about DHHS and the CDC, courtesy of David in South Carolina, saying, by the way, thank you, Frank. Frank jumped in on Darlene's challenge, and we're down to $70 to go on that. If we can raise the other $70, then that'll get us down to, $3,100 to finish the month of February. Terrifying. But any help is appreciated. But we got $70 to go on Darlene's challenge. And thank you, Darlene. Thank you so much. You might recall that Whalehead Dead Bear Brainworm, now the secretary of DHHS, swore up and down in his confirmation hearings that he was not anti-vax.
Sure.
Well, as of now, the Department of Health and Human Services has ordered the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention to stop its influenza vaccine wild to mild media campaign.
Wow. Fuck that.
It is, for those who don't know, an award-winning campaign that effectively explains how influenza vaccines may not prevent infection, but they do decrease the severity of the illness. And the whoever's posting over at AltCDC said, we're currently having one of the worst influenza seasons in 15 years.
I hope they all get it and choke on it. And then they can leave us the fuck alone, frankly. We can have a decent society that works.
I mean, if karma is a thing,
I do.
And if the ancient Greek concept of hubris is a thing, the catch-up is going to be a hell of a bear.
Yeah.
I mean, Nitwit Nero gasping his life. But, of course, Nitwit Nero will get all the vaccines. Bobby will get all the vaccines because they're toxic goddamn hypocrites.
Yeah, of course. You notice, this is how, what I always say, we will win, eventually, because we're on the right side of history, decency, dignity, democracy, because they have to pretend that they're like us in order to get anywhere in life. And then they switch it up. Then they pull the hoods off. And here they are. And they have to pretend. Yes, even Elon Musk, it's all for democracy, doing it for democracy. Or, I'm doing it. No, of course I don't think vaccines should be banned or whatever. Yeah, they got to pretend in order to inflict their manias on us. And even though they're going around saying how we voted for this, the American people voted for this. I keep hearing that on the corporate media, of course, because they're just stenographers now. They just simply report whatever lie comes out of the mouths of these fascist bastards instead of putting it in any kind of context or even pushing back on it. But nobody voted for this. In fact, they lied about it. They said that no, of course I don't even know what Project 2025 is, right? It's Project 25. What is that? What is that Project 25? He didn't even know the name. He was mispronouncing it. And because they're liars. They have to give, Republicans for years, they have to give lip service to democracy. Now they're coming right out. We see what they're up to. And that's the other thing. Why the corporate media never, ever brought up that J.D. Vance is funded by a billionaire who is openly hostile to democracy, who says that he doesn't believe in democracy, and it's not he no longer believes.
Who grew up in a Nazi community in South Africa, by the way.
Well, yeah. not just Elon Musk. I'm talking about Peter Thiel.
Talking about Peter Thiel.
Oh, he did too. He grew up in South Africa.
He grew up in a community that was even worse than anything Leon Scum grew up in.
Oh wow, what a
openly Nazi.
This is what I'm talking. These people are horrible. They're not decent people. And the immorality of, let's say, you're the richest fucking asshole on earth, and you have a choice. This is why the media has failed us, right? You're the richest asshole on earth, but you can end homelessness, end hunger. You can make sure everybody doesn't needlessly die without health care. And you choose instead to send people pink slips. I mean, you should be fucking guillotined, in my opinion. Legally and peacefully guillotined. Judged and then face the sentence. Really. And I have to say, what the fuck is wrong with us? What is wrong with us? We're relying, I guess. And this is the other thing with today when I saw that Tanya Chutkan had dismissed she dismissed the state's claims for emergency injunctive relief, but she didn't say they were entirely wrong. You're right. She didn't close the door. She said she would like to be briefed on the appointments clause aspects of the case. Yeah, but I'm saying, you think if that was a MAGAt, that they would be so, honorable? You don't think she could have come to that conclusion a little bit? Of course, while she's concerned about this or that, it's clear what's going on here. And, this is what I'm talking about. It's the people are entirely, underwhelmed, it seems. I don't know, what's the word? They're not fighting fire with fire. They're not that, I guess, you don't want to turn into your enemy in a way, but you also have to realize what we are up against. They don't give a shit about decency or rule of law. Yeah, if you look at Uncle Clarence. Look at any of these maggots on the Supreme Court. They have all they're up there doing is fixing the facts around the policy. But Tanya Chutkin, I mean, she couldn't have stretched her mind a little bit and been like, yeah, fucking.
It's not about stretching her mind. It's about.
Like she couldn't have written a decision?
A temporary injunction that got struck down the minute it got to the D.C. Circuit is no temporary injunction at all.
I guess. I don't know. Who said it was going to get struck down? If she had crafted it in a way. Maybe, I mean, I don't know. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a judge. But it just seems like, of course.
By saying that she once briefed on the appointments clause issue, she was actually telegraphing to the plaintiff's lawyers what she wants to rule
on. I guess she wants to tighten it up.
What she thinks will withstand judicial scrutiny at the appellate level.
Yeah, I hope so. And I hope they get back there quick enough. Because, by the time they do, there'll be 10 other fucking lawsuits that need to be filed. And he's not obeying anything. I don't know if you saw, where was this? On the Huffington Post. Don gloats, "Long live the king." He's seizing.
We need to delve into that. And a quick reminder: Ralph's chain of command challenge is still on the table too. So we need to raise $95 to meet both Darlene's and Ralph's challenge, and give us a fighting chance at paying some dadgum bills and buying more propane. Darlene in Connecticut says, I write grants for domestic violence and affordable housing organizations. I've been told to get rid of all language around diversity in the proposals.
Oh, my God.
I was told by one of my clients that the National Network to End Domestic Violence stated, "We're not here to win, we're here to survive." It can depend on the various state coalitions and whether they leave it up to the individual nonprofit organizations to decide what to do. But my clients don't want to be responsible for the national organizations and coalitions losing their federal funding pass-through dollars. Trust me.
That's it.
There are a lot of upset nonprofit CEOs and executive directors. One of my clients has worked extremely hard to reach out to the LGBTQIA+ community. This is not only against trans people, it's everything, including DEI. Any mention of those acronyms or even writing them out in full are off the table for now. The agencies are generalizing their language and saying more along the lines of, "We're here for everybody, no matter where you came from and no matter your story." The bottom line is these organizations are still serving LGBTQIA+ and immigrants, BIPOC, etc. It's just on the down low for now. To expect these agencies to lose funding when they're already on a knife's edge trying to survive financially is going to put shit tons more people at risk. Understand that. But they can still sue. And especially, like, for instance, with that Tucson center, they stopped serving their patients even after the case had even after the executive order had already been enjoined. So they're playing the game right now just in terms of the language, but the services are still there. Well, they're not disagreeing to be disagreeable, Darlene, but they are not there for people who need gender-affirming care and are being denied it. They're not getting that care on the down low because there are prescriptions and things involved, and that touches on, the state medical licensing boards and the DEA, etc. A trans guy who needs to get testosterone, this is a grave injustice. Estrogen is not a controlled substance.
Right.
Progesterone is not a controlled substance. You need a prescription, but it's not a controlled substance. Testosterone is actually on the controlled substances list.
Why? Is that because they abuse it like bodybuilders or something?
Yeah, because it's a very powerful steroid. Estrogen is a much weaker steroid. That's why trans guys gain muscle mass, and that's why trans women lose it. Darlene says, I don't really have a choice, and I have to do what my clients tell me. What do you expect me to do? Quit all my clients and tell them to go pound sand? I can't afford to do that. I have to survive, too. So it's very easy for you to take a strict view of this, but the situation is far more nuanced and, yes, distasteful, gross, and it feels cowardly. But these organizations are trying to survive to keep up their missions. Otherwise, many will suffer. I understand the point Darlene is making entirely. And I'm not surprised to find out that they're going to try to operate on the down low. But one good audit, and that'll probably be caught. The thing is, with organizations that are operating out, based out of anticipatory fear of these executive orders, not everyone can reach out to a lawyer. Some people are going to have to comply. But the fact is, we're seeing temporary restraining order petitions filed almost on a daily basis against this obnoxious hatred. This vulgar hatred. And we will win or lose with those. The fear, the terror is real.
Yeah.
With the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, you kind of have to identify the kid in order to try to find the kid. And if you misgender a trans girl as a boy, you're not going to get very far. If you misgender a trans boy as a girl, you're also not going to get very far in finding or saving them. Because that's probably not how they're being exploited, kidnapped, imprisoned. I mean, there are some real-world consequences to this.
Of course.
You've got Virginia Commonwealth University, for instance, who, even though there's already an injunction against the care ban, they haven't just banned care for trans kids, they've banned care and procedures for trans adults, which are not touched by these executive orders.
Ugh.
But they're already in process of that, because one of the executive orders declared, I think it was the one with regard to the Defense Department, declared that the standards promulgated by the World Professional Association for Transgender Health, WPATH, which is the clearinghouse for expert science on trans health, to be junk science.
Because they don't like it.
Right, because they don't like it.
They don't agree. It shouldn't exist.
I get
too
Darlene's,
fucking bad. It doesn't exist.
I
hate
get Darlene's
them.
point. I do, but at the local level, the county, whatever level. But there are avenues inside the courts to be pursued. But if you're writing right now, you do the job you're tasked to do. And it is hateful, and it is odious, and it would be morally repugnant. And I'm sorry you're having to deal with it, Darlene. That's horrid. And no, it's not easy for me to draw a hard line. It's agonizing, because they're nowhere near done yet. Bobby Kennedy is out there talking about wellness farms, camps.
What? Oh, I hate them. Oh,
you don't know about this?
Yeah. Stop.
He wants wellness farms, basically concentration camps, where people who are on SSRIs or antipsychotics,
he's like a Scientologist or something.
are sent out to just Jones.
Antipsychotic?
Yes.
Oh, wonderful. And then, oh my God, these people are on antipsychotics because they're psychotic, and I guess maybe when he wakes up in the middle of the night with one of them, chopping off his head. Because a dog told him to.
The thing is, what comes next? Antibiotics?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what he believes. Yeah, there's too much, everything. We're taking drugs, too much fluoride, too much.
Some people have pushed back on whalehead dead bear brainworm. The governor of Hawaii, Josh Green, lost his shit back when he was in his when Kennedy was in his confirmation hearings, He said he totally flopped in his hearing today. He didn't know the difference, as you reported, between Medicare and Medicaid, which is totally fundamental to health and human services.
Well, they don't know shit anyway. They don't.
But the thing that's most terrifying is the lies he told about making measles great again in Samoa.
Yep.
He perpetuated an outbreak in 2019 that killed 83 people out of 200,000 who got it.
Yep.
And in his hearing, Kennedy said, "We don't know what was killing them."
No, we don't.
And Samoa Director General.
It was Joe Biden, probably.
Dr. Alec Ekaroma said, "It's a total fabrication." He was lying.
Yeah.
And so now, Senator Bill Cassidy of Louisianistan, who begged whalehead dead bear brainworm to say that vaccines are safe and effective, and Kennedy still looked at him and said, "Well, if you can show me the studies, I'll certainly reconsider my position." And the studies go back to 1963.
Oh, God. Oh, God.
When whalehead dead bear brainworm's daddy was the Attorney General of the United damn States.
Oh, these people. It has
and so,
to
lo and
stop.
behold, Cassidy went out because, there's a whole lot of Texas, and then right next to it is Louisianistan, and Greene County, Texas, is burning up with measles. And so Ted Cassidy went on to X and posted an excrement and said, the measles vaccine has been safe and effective since 1963. And people savaged him. Too little, too late.
Well, they're the party of measles and polio.
A pediatrician, Alistair McAlpine, I don't know, then said, "Then why did you support the appointment of an anti-vaxxer as head of HHS just last week? I swear I'm losing my mind here." And another doctor said, "Well, actions speak louder than words, my friend." And Dr. Neil Stone said, "Hollow words from Senator Bill Cassidy, MD, on a measles outbreak. He's enabled future outbreaks by voting to confirm RFK Jr. as HHS Secretary. Actions have consequences."
Who's this now? Who is this? What's his name?
Senator Bill Cassidy.
Oh, Bill Cassidy, okay.
Yeah, the chair of the Health Committee. Or Finance.
Well, he had a vote for his...
He was in both of Whalehead Dead Bear Brainworm's hearings.
Mm-hmm. Oh, well, he had a vote. He said he changed his mind, right? He was a skeptic, and then he became a believer when he met with him and he spoke to him.
And Cassidy was the deciding vote on Kennedy getting out of committee.
Right. Well, he didn't want to upset the dear leader who might say something about him. And
well, see, Cassidy voted to convict in the second impeachment trial.
Oh,
and Nitwit Nero's had a hard on for him ever since.
Yeah. Well, there you go, coward.
And he doesn't want to lose his phony. He doesn't want to lose his phony baloney job.
Yeah.
I didn't get a harumph out of that guy.
Exactly. That's it. I mean, they don't want to lose it.
We have fallen so far, Tara.
Right.
So
I know,
far,
and so quickly.
Because
too.
a few scant years ago, the United States government declared measles eradicated in the United States.
Well, that's what Republicans do. They bring back measles. They bring back everything that we thought we had shoved into history's trash bin. They are the agents of everything that sucks that we thought we overcame. Really. And they have nothing to offer humanity. They have nothing to offer this country. And everything that they touch, they turn to shit. And I wish, I'm not just being hyperbolic, please prove me wrong. Show me where I'm misguided here. I'm open to hearing. I would love Republicans to be normal and stop being the albatrosses around their national necks. But they really are the worst thing that has happened to our country. I mean, they lack, it's because they lack the decency and the maturity and everything that's required to function in a country like this. I mean, for all the hypocrisies of the founders, right? They certainly gave us a pretty progressive blueprint on which to build, right? But that's what the Republicans can't stand. They hate e pluribus unum. I mean, what kind of shit is that? Out of many, one? What are you talking about? That sounds commie. What kind of commie shit is that? Pledging your life, fortune, and sacred honor to each other? What is that, communism? Right? You know, I mean, really. They hate this fucking country. It has to be said. And the Democrats and everyone needs to say it. And this is part of the problem, why we're in this boat. It's the propaganda, but it's also the the weakness, it seems, of the Democrats. Who the hell was it? It was who was on the Daily Show the other day, and he what's his name? He's one of these annoying Democrats who wrote right after the election when the con man won. He wrote something for the New York Times saying that, oh, now is the time to find common ground or something like that. Like, he's one of them.
Oh,
that wants to always find.
People.
I'm trying to find who it is, but
it's kind of like this headline that more and more Republicans are alarmed and furious over all of the fuck ups and all of the economic harm being done to their constituents by their daddy.
Yeah, they have a
Axios had a story about it, and of course it cites Republicans who said in the Axios article, the job and funding cuts are now hitting GOP lawmakers, districts, and states.
Yeah.
Dodgy's spree of job cuts is starting to target federal roles that even some of Trump's Republican allies in Congress may deem too essential to sacrifice. But then the Axios found a MAGAt in the House of Representatives who didn't want their name used because they're a goddamn coward, who said, I think you're going to see a clash when they start abolishing agency, let's say like USAID, right? We authorized that. That's a creature of Congress. If they try to do something like that, then you're going to get into a constitutional argument or crisis. Yeah,
well,
a MAGAt member of the House said that.
Well, they're calling up. I did a story on the last show on Tarabuster that in Alabama, people woke up to find out not only were their grants for their electricity bills taken away, but now they owed money. They needed to pay it back from the government, so their accounts were in the red. And so that's because of that filthy Joe Biden. That all these fuckers. This is why I hate them.
Well, get out your Coleman Camp stoves, Alabama MAGAts, and fry you up some eggs. Oh wait, you can't afford them either.
But they were calling.
Aren't you proud? Is America great again? Yeah.
They were calling up Katie Britt and who's the other one? Tommy Tuberville, and they were all like, and Katie Britt was like, well, certainly. The president should really take a scalpel, not an axe, and figure out which is the good shit and which is the bad shit. But, the bad shit is the stuff that doesn't affect them, or so they think. And because Republicans...
And see, Don Bacon of Nebraska, he represents a district in Nebraska that's purple, not red. Basically it's Omaha, where there are some civilized people. And he said, before making cuts rashly, the administration should be studying and staffing to see what the consequences are. Measure twice before cutting once. They have had to backtrack multiple times.
Wow. But if you check out,
he will never buttonhole his colleagues and say, listen up, they're fucking you.
Yeah.
They're fucking me. And we're going to lose the House in 2026.
Well,
you better find a fucking spine.
Please.
No, they can't do that because they don't want to upset King Daddy.
And the people who these assholes are calling, like Katie Britt, like Tommy Tuberville, they voted against these grants to begin with and everything else that the Republicans rely on, like the University of Alabama. That's another thing that, of course, all the funding for research.
UAB Birmingham,
was taken away.
I've been a patient there.
Well, it's a research facility. So, oh well, booby. There goes your job. There goes your fucking the guy who sells you coffee's job. Like all the other jobs that stem from having the university there. Goodbye, boobies. And I'm looking at the leopards eating my face page, which is one of my favorite places.
I just want to be really simple about it, Tara, because you have to speak in very, very simple terms to the MAGAts.
Mm-hmm.
Dum-dums, you voted for this because you're dum-dums.
Yeah, and you're hateful dum-dums, because that's the other thing. When we were discussing them, you could have had a Southern Baptist in the White House, but you were convinced she was a devil-worshipping Hindu. Right. Well, they don't get anything from the people that they vote for. They're voting against their grants. They're voting against their research funding that is literally giving them a job, right? And so what are you getting out of your vote? And then you call these people for help, and you don't even put two and two together that these are the people that voted against you to begin with. So what are they going to fucking do for you, you stupid asshole? And so why do they keep voting for people that hate them, that fucking do nothing for them, except they hate the same people? That's what they're... Right,
exactly.
Yeah,
and
that's
of course,
it. Trans people.
That fossil Chuckles Grassley in Iowa, and Iowa's getting hit, said, well, this is an executive branch decision. Congress can't do anything except complain about it.
Oh, fuck you.
The fuck it can't. I mean,
right.
if we're going to be realistic about this, there's nothing about political parties in the Constitution of the United States. James Madison inveighed for all he was worth against political parties, or what he called faction.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing in there saying that a member of a party cannot vote to impeach a president from his own party.
Right. But
I mean, it's there.
Well, they should do it, and that's what I'm hoping. That's why the Democrats have to slow everything down, and according to my opinion, and because there's enough damage already being done in the first fucking month. Could you imagine 2 years from now? And he's got to be impeached and removed. All of them do. But, yeah, I mean, one day at a time, sweet Jesus. Until then. No, I mean, it's like, this is...
the fact that you know that song.
Well, of course I do. So, let me see. I'm looking at if you go over to the Reddit page, the leopards eating your face page, it's all stories about how... well, my daughter's friend, big MAGAt, lost her job. Like, they're fucking losing their jobs, So, good. I hope it doesn't hurt too little, but, of course, the good people are hurt, too. That's the problem. And if this is what it takes to wake you up, which is another thing that proves that they lack the fundamental decency to function in a democracy, because if it takes your selfishness to wake you up, the harm you wanted to inflict on others being visited on you, that's the only thing that wakes you up, then you really are lacking in the very basic
there's
morality required to function.
There's a little something that comes with having been an English major. And I remember, one of my favorite political novels, especially American political novels, is by Robert Penn Warren. It's called All the King's Men. And the boss, Willie Stark, the tragic hero of the piece, comes to prominence after he opposes a bunch of dirty politics around the construction of a local school. And then the politics rotten brick collapses and a bunch of young scholars die during a fire drill. And at the funeral for the little scholars, a man stands up and says, "Oh Lord, I am punished, for I voted against a decent and honest man." And that kickstarts Willie's career.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't work that way in America anymore.
No. Nope.
Because you've got, 1.7 at most million more people who voted for hate instead of voting for competence and decency.
Right. That's right.
And they will have, they can hear only through their buttocks, and they will have to be hammered.
Yep.
To the same, I mean, not in the same sense, but people in Germany found out that Nazism wasn't as great as they thought it was only after the bombs fell on Hamburg,
That's
on Dresden,
Yep.
Munich, Berlin.
Yep.
And then it was like, oh, wait, what did we do? Did we fuck up?
Well,
oh, shit, we fucked
up.
Then
no one would admit it, right? No one was...
I never supported him.
Uh-huh.
But in the time remaining to us, I want us to get our Rome on again, because I always enjoy it.
All right. Wait, hold on. Before we... I'm just looking at this letter, just to wrap it up about the leprosy in the face.
Sure, go ahead.
Well, it says, this one person writes to Rick Scott, Ashley Moody, and Ron DeSantis. Say, my son was hired by NASA in 2024 to work on whatever. These are redacted. He worked extremely hard to get his master's in aerospace engineering, taking student debt along the way. He worked after graduation. He obtained top secret clearance, and he interviewed at NASA, his dream job. After several interviews, he took a position. He moved to Orlando with his fiance and got a nice job too in Orlando. He was not, all cap, a DEI hire. He got the job based on his intelligence and his work ethic. Now, through no fault of his own, he is being fired. I thought
his whiteness.
Yep. I voted for you 3 times, and now I'm very dejected. I am a Republican. See, they think that that's gonna save them.
They think that being a Republican, cough, cough,
right,
gives them something in common with
that
orange
it's going
shit for
to
brains.
pass over their house, right? That's Passover for them, for MAGAts. I'm a Republican. I left my home state of Illinois to be here. Oh, well. Okay, so let's go to Rome now.
Yeah, oopsie. Sorry about that.
Oh, well, it's too bad, so sad, right? That's what they say.
Yeah.
Too bad, so sad. That's what Roseanne and that Tom fucking asshole from Canada, that video they made. Too bad, so sad. Daddy's home, because they don't like democracy that requires all of us to be adults and participate in the society, right? They want Daddy to take all the responsibilities away from them and do it all for them, but while also beating them and I guess calling them the F word and taking away all of the saving them from the others who don't know their place. But yeah, it says it all. Just the fact that they call him Daddy's home, and he's pissed, says it all. They don't
taking off his bell.
Yeah, he's. It says it all because, that's not... We had Daddy in King George, and we overthrew him because we were supposed to all be adults in this together. You're not a child. You don't need Daddy. We need each other to function and have, get together and do things like adults do. Share in the responsibilities. But
and so get this. I don't know if you saw this. It's disgusting. The sound alone will suffice. The actual checkmark White House account over on Shitter posted video of some poor soul being shackled with an airplane in the distance.
Yep.
Captioned ASMR illegal alien deportation flight.
So disgusting.
They're celebrating putting human beings in chains.
Yeah,
Here's
and they're
audio.
showing it. Well, you could play it, but go ahead. It's right out of Nazi Germany.
Yeah, it is.
I could show it on the screen for people. It's so gross.
The sound of the shackles, the chains.
Oh, look. Oh, wow. Look, I'm getting, I guess they're getting hard.
Hey, look, it's a jet-propelled middle passage.
Mm-hmm. They're like, wow, they're jerking themselves off to the chains.
And for those who don't know, ASMR stands for Autonomous Sensory Meridian Response, because, some people just like to listen to noises. They give them a sense of calm and peace. And so, the White House said thought it was really funny.
They did?
Yeah, they posted it as a joke.
This chains video?
Yes.
Yeah,
they
joke?
Were the Lincoln Project said if Hitler had a social media account.
Yeah, for real. And I mean, what the fuck?
And this was all over on Instagram.
Yeah, and there's like all these chains here. Oh, look, great. And they're lining up the chains. What is wrong with you fucking people? You stupid maggots, you immoral monsters. Ugh.
The ever problematic Democrat Seth Moulton from Massachusetts just said, "We're better than this."
Right. Okay. No, we are. They're not. Get get real here. They're not.
Yeah, one person referred to it as deportation porn.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, we will have to continue to evolve without them, and they keep, we have to drag them kicking and screaming, just like in the revolution. The country wasn't all united to rebel against the crown, not in the least. So, a lot of the loyalists, they fucked off to Canada, they went back to England, they were like, fuck this, we're out of here. And whatever, if you wanted to participate in this experiment in democracy, fine. But many people, this is our natural lord. How can we rebel against a ruler that is ordained by God, that was anointed?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a divine right of kings, right?
Yeah.
And we're probably going to go a little long here.
Yes.
Because
sorry.
There's stuff I want. No, that's fine. I just wanted to get it out there that if we could please just raise $95 to meet the two challenges and finish the two challenges on the table, the entire Horn Family Community Congregation would be collectively grateful. Because we're not talking about living a life of indolent leisure.
Right.
We're talking about propane and bills that keep this program happening 5 days a week, 3 hours at a time. There are very few 3-hour talk programs left.
Yeah.
And this is one of them.
Mm-hmm.
But I wanted, if you can help out, the PayPal button is at Headon.live. Under the Contribute tab, there's also Patreon if you want to go that way. But no, I said we'd get our ancient Rome on because nothing pissed off ancient Romans like the idea of ever being ruled by a king.
Oh, of course, yeah. Mm-hmm.
But and the framers of the Constitution were in turn influenced by that by that distaste for kingship. When Alexander Hamilton said, "Hey, I got an idea. Let's have a king," people were like, "Shut the fuck up. We've got one. We could keep him if we wanted to." The whole idea is to get rid of this obnoxious notion of royalty.
Yes.
And so when the optimates, which the best men of the
the Republicans
last century of the before the Common Era, decided they'd had it with Julius Caesar, the first thing they started doing is running around saying, "He wants to be a king. He wants to be a king," and he kept saying, "No, I don't." And then one day they caught him wearing a pair of purple boots, and they say he wants to be a king. And that's where the plot to assassinate him began. because Romans despised the notion of kingship, having cast off their king literally centuries beforehand. And I'm not aware, in my understanding of American history, I'm not aware of any president of the United States who has ever gotten anywhere near the idea of even thinking of himself
I know.
as a king.
I know. And oh no, I know.
Here we
I want
are.
to puke. I really want to puke.
This is not a joke.
Yep, I'll show.
Nitwit Nero has declared himself king.
Yeah, he sure has.
He got rid of some sort of traffic
congestion
management
pricing
plan.
in New York.
Congestion, yeah.
I mean, I don't know how he has the fucking right to do that, but okay, that's the other thing. He's not a king.
So he went on Tripe Social and he typed, "Congestion pricing is dead. Manhattan and all of New York is saved. Long live the king."
Incredible. That alone, he should be
and then the
impeached.
MAGAts jumped in behind him to yell, "Hail King Donald."
Yeah, they think they're owning the libs. That's probably what they think. It's funny. Haha, look, let's watch them all freak out.
And then the official Trump White House account over on Shitter posted a fake Time magazine labeled Trump, showing him wearing a crown with New York City in the background saying, "Long live the king." And he's grinning that sort of gaseous smile like he's holding back a fart.
Ugh. See, and the people are writing, "I love what Trump is doing and how promises have been kept." Oh, I hope you fucking get measles. "But y'all must refrain from using the word king." And then somebody else writes, "I like the sentiment, but people are obviously going to take this out of context." What's the context? He says he wants to be king. He's calling himself king. What's the context? Fuck. This comes off as King of New York to me, which seems pretty common for people to say. Like, it's just I'm the king of New York. I'm a Republican who voted for Trump, but no man is king. That is the idea of our nation. Like I said before, President Trump will be on Mount Rushmore. Mark my words.
Oh, Jesus. And of course there is it wasn't lost on me that there is actually an old film with Christopher Walken, no less, called King of New York.
Mm-hmm.
Would you care to guess what it's about?
Okay, no. Just tell me.
It's about a brutally violent, homicidal, murderous mobster.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Because that's who he is. He the guy who on the campaign trail cited the great Alphonse Capone wants to be a mobster.
Yeah.
The guy who was taught how to walk and talk and act just like a bloomin' lady by Roy Cohn wants to be a mobster. It's how he sees himself. And I guess even, and this is the part of the circle I can't square. How do you swear an oath to the Constitution of the United States?
Of course, well.
And bend a knee to this shit stain at the same time?
It's impossible, but.
And what has gone out of all of this is the oath to the Constitution, Tara.
Mm-hmm. Well, this is why he needs to be impeached. This alone, he should be impeached. But, okay. It's not going to happen, of course, at this point. He's a traitor. And so are everyone who votes for him or voted and cheers this monstrosity. I've been thinking a lot about my doctor. I told you about my doctor, who I made the mistake of thinking he was a normal person, and
then he wasn't.
Yeah, and he voted for Trump because, supposedly crime is so out of control when it's not. I mean, anything's out of control if you constantly harp on it on your propaganda channel and you take the worst clips.
I mean, what
and
was your doctor having to shoot his way with an
I
AR-15
I know.
the barbarian hordes just to get to his office?
I guess that's what he thought. Who knows? And then I looked it up too. I mean, as we know, crime is down everywhere, and even though shit happens everywhere. There's crime. There's always been crime in New York, but crime is down in New York, lower than it was. It was lower under Joe Biden than it was under that fucking monstrosity Trump. That's just a demonstrable fact. That's just the goddamn numbers. So, but crime is up because if you turn on Fox News, they put a lot of time into harping on some bullshit that blue cities are under assault and mobster. What do they say? MI-15 or whatever.
MS-13.
MS-13. I'm thinking of Mission Impossible. They're taking over apartment buildings. That was a whole fucking bullshit story, of course, and that's propaganda. Propaganda works. That's why they have taken over Twitter, and they unleash the Russian bots and the lies and and fill the empty heads of the American people with all this nonsense. And they're so easily manipulated, as we were saying earlier, because, it's one faux rage to the next. Have you heard them go on about caravans? Of course, no. Where's the death panels? They assaulted us for years.
I did read a story earlier today about terrified deportees stuck in hotels in Panama with no idea what happens to them next.
Well, there's no plan, of course. There's no humanity in anything that they're doing. You think they're making concessions for these people, or they're trying to help them get to where they're going, or even, treat them with any sliver of respect for their basic humanity? Of course not. Yeah. I mean, like Jasmine Crockett said, she was wrong. There's an immigrant taking people's jobs. It's Elon Musk. Other than what we're seeing with and that's the other thing, when watching that video of the chains, I was thinking of my doctor too, because there's a lot of Spanish-speaking people that go to see him because he's Spanish or whatever. I don't know where he's from particularly,
Hispanic.
but he speaks Spanish, and he's Hispanic, and I mean, shame on him. That's all I keep saying. Shame on him. And I just wonder what's it going to take? I don't know. But there you go. Even people you think are smarter than that have fallen for. They fall for the propaganda. That's why this is so important. I know I always talk about it, but this is it. We got to get the word out. You got to be unapologetic. You have to be, and we're not saying anything that's not, based in, we're not bullshitting people. We're talking about the reality of what we're up against. And if I was wrong, please let me know. Of course, I will. I don't want to be saying anything that's not true out here, but we're just simply our little podcasters here up against the behemoth of propaganda. And how else are we going to break through? We're not going to break through unless people help. So I don't know. We're in big trouble, but it all begins with a message, and that's why whenever the Democrats get in front of a camera, they waste their time talking about how we're going to find common ground with the Republicans, because that in itself makes them seem like there's reasoning with them. And I don't know.
True, and I know you, and I suspect you. You know, when we do get past all this, and Reverbo minutes ago said, we're not done. One day, Possum Goddess willing, we will leave them behind. But, you know, what happened in the aftermath of, say, World War II in France might be appropriate.
Yeah.
You know, a little, you know, just a little barbering. You know.
I agree. I agree.
Head shaving, little head shaving.
Why should they not be, you know, there's something to be said for public shaming. The goddess of nature put these emotions in us for a reason.
But can you imagine the howls? The petulant shrieks.
Right.
Of MAGA world if some Democrat stood before a camera and say, "That's okay.
Yeah.
This is all going to end. It's all going to collapse, and then we're going to shave some people's heads in the public square." Because I don't know if you know this, but the designee as the U.S. Attorney for the District of Columbia, a MAGAt by the name of Ed Martin, who helped organize the January 6th domestic terror attack on the Capitol, had recently sent an email describing Operation Whirlwind, and said that I've personally launched an investigation into Chuck Schumer. Also he's one of the people who argued in favor of the 1,500 pardons for the domestic terrorists. And he said, our office has been flooded with threats against those who helped free the January 6th prisoners. We're the D.C. U.S. Attorney's Office. We're the guardians of federal workers. You and I must do whatever possible to assure government work is safe for all involved. We must protect our cops, our prosecutors, our dodgy workers, the president, all other government employees from threats against our nation. And then he said he was investigating Chuckles Schumer because Chuckles Schumer said, I want to tell you, Gorsuch, I want to tell you, Kavanaugh, you've released the whirlwind and you'll pay the price. You won't know what hit you if you go forward with these awful decisions. I reached out to Schumer to investigate his threats.
Oh, my God. You fucking tedious goddamn... Ugh. Just everything is a performance to them.
We will protect each other. We will protect Dodgy. We will protect our judges and cops, and we'll go after the people who threaten federal workers.
Oh, my God. You piece of shit. It's just a performance.
You silly fuck.
You're right.
Again, this guy has no idea what the First Amendment's about. And, of course, then there's that vulgar little fascist Tom Homan. I sent a referral to the U.S. Attorney's Office to investigate Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. I don't have guidance, but we might need to prosecute her.
Good. She said, bring it on. And I'm that's what you got to say. Great. If you're not being threatened by these maggots, you're not doing it correctly. That's the truth. Good. Bring it on. Oh, I'm sorry. Should I? I will not run that ad. I will not. I will give you $25 million. That's what they're supposed to act like a billionaire.
Bring it on, you fascist.
Bring it on. And that's the thing with when we get to the other side of this, Zuckerberg, Musk. No, well, forget Musk. I mean, he needs the national razor. Stop that. Zuckerberg, legally and peacefully, the national razor. He needs to be judged by jury and, whatever.
Hold on. I want to be humane about this.
The national razor?
I just want him to fly on one of his own dick rockets.
Yeah. Yeah, well, why not? Well, fuck off to Mars. Well, I was thinking about him,
too. Ground control to Major Scum. Take your protein pills and put your helmet on.
He's just a con man, like the rest of them. The whole "let's go to Mars." I could put a fucking shirt on and say "let's go to Mars," and now give me nice fat government contracts to dig a pit in the hole in the ground. So, like his stupid Hyperloop and this other bullshit. Let's go to Mars.
And of course, he also recently fired the people who were in charge of regulating his weird-ass brain implant.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if you've seen it or not, but Victoria and I started watching Severance last night.
I haven't, no.
And not to give it away, but it's a thriller, and it centers on people who receive brain implants.
Okay.
Hard to watch it and not think of Leon Scum and his dodgy little brain. I mean,
Yeah.
can you imagine what a twisted-minded freak like Leon Scum would program into a brain implant?
Oh, I know. He's just he's a Nazi. He's a horrible sociopath. And I'm hoping that, and that's another thing that we get to the other side of. Stop worshiping these filthy sociopaths. They're not good people. We shouldn't be elevating indecent, immoral psychopaths.
And we talk about bumper sticker language from time to time, Tara. Mm-hmm. And I just came up with one.
Okay.
What the hell's wrong with a very plain bumper sticker that says billionaires are bad?
Okay. Good idea. Yeah. Or billionaires shouldn't exist?
Too much. Billionaires are bad.
Mm-hmm.
3 letters, easy to conceptualize, and fundamentally true.
Yeah. They're
For every billionaire a country has, that country suffers.
Oh yeah. They are not good for society. It's provable.
They're not good for much of anything.
Yeah, and they're evil. They are evil. You got to think, oh well, we'll change the tax code. Yeah, that's the system that made them, but they're fucking evil. They're not taking their money and doing anything good with it. How much fucking money do you pricks need? That needs to be the question. We're suffering. You're firing people. Fuck you. That should be the answer. Fuck you.
And then there's, of course, what's going on with Ukraine.
Oh, God.
He attacked President Zelensky today.
Well, he called him a dictator.
Yeah. And
I know you are, but what am I? That's the Republican way. That's what they do. I know you are, but what am I? Well, everybody's calling me a dictator. You're a dictator. I'm not a dictator. You're a dictator.
Not a puppet. You're a puppet.
You're a puppet. No puppet here. Not a puppet.
But the story that, because oftentimes economic stories, budget stories, they kind of make your eyes roll back in your head. But Senate Majority Leader John Thune he already knew, is finding out what it's like to have to kiss the orange toe. Nitwit Nero has blown up the budget discussions that would avoid a shutdown coming. Because we got a shutdown coming in March.
Yeah, good. Shut it fucking down then. Oh, well.
And reporting for NBC, Ryan Nobles said that he'd spoken to several Republicans, and they said that we can't pass Daddy's big, beautiful bill, and we have to agree to a spending plan or the government will shut down. And he absolutely has to have over in the House, he's got to have the votes of the deficit hawks, Mullah Moses, Mike Johnson does, and if he tries to play to the to the Freedom Caucus, the people, the members of Congress who pick their teeth with their toenail clippings, he shrieked today on Tripe Social that he wanted he didn't want a single bill, but he also didn't want 2 bills. And the thing is, it's all going to blow up in their face.
Good. I love it. I'm here for it.
Mark Warner, the Democrat from Virginia, said, this is starting to feel like a fruitless exercise. I wouldn't be surprised if they don't even get the majority of the Republican votes.
Yeah, I'm just looking.
So he's, he doesn't have any problem fucking them. And he'll tell them that they have to like it and come out and support their own screwing.
Yeah.
And we're not. Tomorrow is the 1 month anniversary of him being inaugurated, and he managed to get inside of 1 month before. It didn't even take him a month to call himself a king.
Right. As we said,
And I don't know if you're aware of this, but our buddy Steve in New York calculated the number of days between inauguration and the 53-day mark that the little Austrian private established, the world record for destroying a democracy. It only took 53 days to turn German democracy into a fascist dictatorship. Would you care to guess what day 53 is, Tara?
Today?
No, today's just 1 day short of a month.
Oh,
day 53 is the Ides of March.
Oh, wow. Okay. Oh, well.
And he's well on his way. I wonder if the government shuts down, I wonder what the MAGAts will. That's the Democrats' fault. He's
already saying that.
It's that Chuck Schumer's fault.
Right. Everything is Joe Biden's fault. Inflation, it's going to go up. It's Joe Biden's fault. He's already said that. Everything is Joe Biden. Another plane fell out of the sky. Oh, that's Pete Buttigieg's fault. Everything, it's never the Republicans' fault. It's not the party of personal responsibility. Never takes responsibility for the crisis, all of the various crises they create. Because
and of course there's something even more sinister lurking beneath his claim that he says his country cannot break the law.
Right.
What he's doing is a longtime fetish of the hardcore right wing in this country. He is trying to personally overrule Marbury versus Madison.
Yeah.
He's trying to take away from the Supreme Court of the United States the one job that they have, to declare what is and is not constitutional.
Right. Well, I guess that's
in the laws of the United States.
That's what he's signaling to his bitches on the court. Right.
Well, but I think if you take the handmaid and John Roberts and the 3 decent human beings on the court, you've got the 5 votes necessary to shut down his claims of kingship and all the manifestations of it. But then, look, let's understand something right now. We are in a constitutional crisis, even as we speak, Tara.
Yeah.
But it will ramp up to 11 if the Supreme Court rules against him and tells him not to do things
that he continues to do.
And he does it anyway.
Yeah. Well, he can't do it by himself. He needs help. He's not going to go and do it by himself, so it has to.
And let's be clear, he thinks that he has immunity for everything he does.
Yeah.
The President of the United States does not have civil immunity and never has.
Mm-hmm.
Even the question of personal civil immunity was answered during the 90s with the help of Ken Starr and beer brew boofing brat Kavanaugh, that the president can be sued in his personal capacity during his presidency. But he doesn't, he does, and so he thinks he's, by virtue of his criminal immunity, he can violate any criminal statute he wants. But the problem is, and this is what he fundamentally does not understand, because he is the Dunning-Kruger president who doesn't know what he doesn't know. The joker in the deck here is that while he may have immunity for criminal conduct, the people executing on his orders do not. And so, there may not, the court doesn't have a U.S. Marshal Service measuring in the hundreds of thousands. They don't have a brigade. But if one of his if the U.S. Marshals show up for one of his cabinet secretaries and says, come along, you're going to have a conversation with the judge, there's not going to be anybody there to shoot it out with the federales. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And so there is still some coercive force to the court's orders. But I guess they think that because they've got the DOJ that somehow Pam Blondie, the woman who took bribes, will what? Tell the U.S. Marshals to stand down?
Right.
I mean, when you spend enough time to actually think about the nuts and bolts of this, the constitutional crisis that we are in and the exacerbation of it that is coming is worse than anything this country has ever faced, up to and including the Civil War.
I know. Yeah. Well,
because even within the Civil War, even with Lincoln saying that he wanted to stick Roger Taney in prison, not without reason, it never got to this. It never got to the point where, well, it kind of did. The closest we got was after the assassination of Lincoln, when Mary Surratt, who ran the boarding house in what is now Chinatown in D.C., where the conspirators against Lincoln had rented a room, the evidence proved she had nothing to do with it. She had no knowledge of it whatsoever. But the military government of D.C. said, screw it, and convicted her. The case went to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court said, she's not guilty. You can't hang her. And the military tribunal hanged her anyway. That's as close as we've gotten. That and Andrew Jackson. Andrew Jackson, who having had the Indian Removal Act struck down by the Supreme Court, said, how many divisions does the Chief Justice control?
Yeah.
And went ahead and committed an indigenous genocide anyway. You know, there's a damn good reason that indigenous people will not allow a $20 bill to be in their pocket.
Yeah, well, that's why Trump loves them. So.
Well, we're here. Oh, and I need to send out thank yous. A thank you to Too Much Hutch for Ralph's challenge, the current U.S. Chain of Command challenge. For Ralph's challenge, Hutch says, but I do hope Darlene's is met, representing Connecticut, because that's where Hutch is too. Yeah, so the current U.S. Chain of Command challenge has been met, and we've got $70 to go on Darlene's Shakedown challenge. Thank you, Hutch. Thank you a ton. And so we will work our way down to trying to get February fully funded, and you just took a step toward helping us and buying a little propane and trying to keep the shareholders of Appalachian Power happy, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Thanks, Hutch. And I'm going to get out of here.
All right, me too. I'm out of here.
Thanks, Tara. I'm glad.
Thank you.
I'm glad you reached out. It helps. These nights are. You know, I love our conversations together when.
Me too.
It feels like the wheels are completely coming off.
Oh, I know. We got a lot of work to do, and we got our work cut out for us too.
And if you get a chance to show up for a protest, don't hesitate.
You got to do it. We got to. I mean, it's going to take all of us. Just call everybody. Call your representative. Call your senators. Just fucking hound these assholes. If you have a Democrat, yeah.
Yeah, I got no Democrats I can talk to.
Right, but just call the other ones too. Call the fucking Republicans.
But I've been trying to keep people up to date. West Virginia's underwater and freezing to death right now. So just keeping track of what our MAGAt legislature is up to. With West Virginia underwater and freezing, and no monies to address much of either one, the Solons of the MAGAt party down in Charleston have, in their infinite wisdom, introduced a bill to let school principals beat children again.
Of course. See? Everything we thought we left in history's trash bin. See? We were great. We were great back when people could beat their kids openly. And, yeah, when you could just abuse and turn your the little children, not raise them in encouragement and love and support, Beat the fucking living fuck
Well,
out of them.
It says it right there in the Bible, Tara. Come on, let's make the little children suffer.
Mm-hmm. They got it all wrong, you know. They get everything upside down.
Spare the baseball bat and spoil the child.
Fuckers. Well,
I don't know if
they got no answers. They are not
right.
meant for the modern world. That's why e pluribus unum.
Beat some Jesus into them.
It's very confusing to them. They don't like it. They want to live in the dark ages when we had no vaccines and you could die in the field and go to church and await your rewards in heaven. You don't pester your lords in the castle while they're up there and just eating up all the earthly rewards. That's the world they're recreating here. And now we got our king. He's declared himself the monarch. And, I mean, this... Anyway, all right. I got to go.
Hold just 1 second if you can. Because it is prayer meeting Wednesday, and we have to do at least one prayer meeting story.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I know. Uh-oh.
Another story? Oh, fuck. Okay.
This comes from Right Side Broadcasting Network.
Oh, no.
Where on President's Day... a couple of these knee-walking MAGAts declared that, we'll just let Matthew Alvarez explain where we are in time. I predict these things. You know, this little program's so far out in front of the curve, it's like we're on a straight road. Jesus Christ, get the hockey puck, y'all.
On and on and on, we see that people are getting hit by this, figuratively speaking, this wave of President Trump's greatness. But here's the thing. We always are saying how great President Trump is, and he is. But he is standing with the Constitution, with truth, with common sense, with God, who are higher than President Trump. Let's be honest. The truth, God, is higher than him. President Trump said it himself.
Oh, yeah, many times.
Remember, he said at that speech in North Carolina, he goes, he's like, someone said I'm the most famous person in the world. He goes, I know someone that's more famous than me. And he looked up and he goes, it's not even close. He said, Jesus Christ. So, I mean, those are the...
I want to know when this was said, because I'm pretty sure it was.
Who is this?
Someone that I saw the comparison to Cyrus as well in the Bible.
These are a couple of neo-maxi Zoom dweebies. One of them is Matthew Alvarez. I don't know who the other dweeb is, but you know they're.
Oh wow! It's so embarrassing for them.
Yeah, they're yakking for an audience of one, and.
Why don't they just suck his dick already? It's so.
What do you think they're doing?
All right. They should be just like jerking each other off while sucking his dick, and that's really what they're doing.
Well,
You're
can't see it's video, and I can't see their hands, Tara.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's and that's what I mean. They have no dignity. It is so embarrassing for them. I'm embarrassed for them, but okay.
Well, it gets worse. Hang on.
Bible. How the Persian king who helped Israel, you could even compare David. I personally believe people who were chosen in the time to lead their people.
Well, David did have hundreds of wives and even hundreds more concubines, so I don't know, maybe.
President Trump is oddly similar in with the prophecies of coming in to have really a strong personality, but also to mandate peace, to mandate prosperity, to lead their people out of bondage.
Fucking delirious.
Bondage? Really reminiscent of what has been prophesied in biblical times and even leading up now into what may be the beginning of Revelation. I know there's a lot of debate over that, especially where you might attend church.
What's
and
your fucking debate hunger and homelessness, you
fucking pricks. But if you look at salvation history, President Trump oddly...
Wait, I had no idea. There's salvation history.
Oh.
This is the punchline.
Yeah, because Trump, Trump himself said, "Hey, somebody's greater even than me." Can you believe it?
I know.
Oh, and they're like, "See, he's such a great guy." He recognized, even though he is a marvel of human the entire lineage of our human species. He is the pinnacle. He is the most pristine example
Perfect.
of humanity.
Exalted. Yes.
And even though he is infallible, he recognized that Jesus is greater than him. Isn't that just makes him so much more great in general?
How great?
How great
can he possibly be? The funny thing is, these guys are waxing eloquent about millennialist, revelations, end times bullshit. And they don't seem to recall the fact that he claims to have received a wound to his head back last summer. Like the beast in Revelations. But let's catch the last couple of seconds, because we gotta have something funny to end the program, right?
If you look at salvation history, President Trump oddly aligning with a person who might be part of the greater plan.
Yeah, and so we're following it here live and in real time, and it's quite a time to be alive, as you guys know. It's quite the time in our country.
Yeah, time of shit.
Yeah, it's a great. It's a time. It's definitely a time to be alive.
Mm-hmm. It's a real shit show.
I'm
fucking shitting my pants.
Yep, they're waiting for the rapture.
I wish they would fucking rapture on out of here already and leave us alone.
Well, I want to see that great schism, because it drives the millennials to distraction. Are you boys going to rapture with your clothes on, or are you going to rapture naked?
Right. Well, they would hope naked, so
Well, I mean, it's an open question in those circles.
Oh wow! I wish they would. I wish they would get the F. Why don't they? I don't know. Do some Heaven's Gate kind of shit. You gotta meet it halfway.
Have you got your matching Nikes, boys?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can meet. There's a Hail Boppa comet coming. You could catch it.
Well, no, I mean, I was talking about it at the beginning of the program. There's a really big asteroid out there that could hit us on December the 22nd, 2032. Maybe there's a starship hiding behind it. I don't know.
Well, you got to go find out.
Got to get ready, fellas.
Find out. Go and find out. Let us know. Come back and let us know when you know.
Don't come back.
Right, don't come back. Yeah. We'll try to come back. They won't come back.
Send us a subspace message or something.
I mean, these people, they're not embarrassed for themselves. That's what's so baffling to me. It's like this mass hysteria. Because they're not, when the future gets a hold of them, it's going to be even worse. They're going to look even more ridiculous than they already do. They look ridiculous. Like all of the MAGAts in the Congress right now, voting to put him on Mount Rushmore or to make his birthday a national holiday. They look fucking ridiculous already. And
I brought up the issue of contempt of court a little bit ago, and I did so for a reason. I was about to let this one slide by. I know we got to go, but it's beginning. There's a group called AIDS Vaccine Advocacy Coalition versus Department of State, and the Department of State has been ordered to keep the money flowing to USAID. Mm-hmm. And so the plaintiffs in that case, Tara, have filed a motion for contempt this very afternoon, earlier, asking the court to hail Lil Marco Rubio into court to show cause why he and his department should not be held in civil contempt, because they have that Lil Marco has not obeyed the ruling from U.S. District Judge Amir Ali. And so at the time, writing his order, Judge Ali said, "At least to date, defendants have not offered any explanation for why a blanket suspension of all congressionally appropriated foreign aid, which set off a shockwave and upended reliance interests for thousands of agreements with businesses, nonprofits, and organizations around the country, was a rational precursor to reviewing programs." And so we'll see we'll see if Judge Ali issues that rule to show cause and tells little Marco to come sashaying into the courtroom and explain himself.
Mm-hmm.
Girl can hope.
I hope so. He's another one, but anyway, I gotta go. I'm
Right.
tired.
I know,
I fucking
I know,
can't
I know,
stand
yeah.
it anymore. I need to just get unconscious and go pet Boudica.
I understand. I've got a pint of ether waiting for me now.
Ether.
Yeah.
I wish I had a
so,
pint of ice cream. Now that you said that, I don't have any ice cream.
Yeah,
That'd be nice.
Yeah, Haagen-Dazs is always good.
Yeah. Oh well. Oh well. I can dream.
What kind of
All
ice
right.
cream's what's your favorite ice cream?
I don't
Terry?
know. I like. It depends. It changes. I like vanilla. I like vanilla ice cream with some bananas and like some chocolate on top.
Ooh, yeah,
Yeah.
hot fudge. But you know what else? Fruit jams. You know, like strawberry jam or blackberry
okay.
jam.
I haven't-
Wonderful on a good vanilla ice cream.
All right. I haven't had that in a while. Well, I'm not going to do it now.
Love you, Tara. You have
All
a good
right, my
evening.
friend. I love you. Thank you for
All right.
hanging out. I'll talk to you later.
Okay, see ya.
All right. Bye-bye.
And that's the program.
Bye-bye. All right.
A little extra broadcast time this evening.
We're hanging out. We're hanging up with Robyn because I got to hang out. Hang up this whatever. It is what it is. I'm tired. I'm fading out. We're losing I can see the video. Nobody's watched. Not nobody. You guys are not nobody. But I can see people are fading out too. I'm fading out. I'm tired. Well, we're going to have a show, as you know, tomorrow. Or maybe you don't know. Over at the Political Voices Network at 2 p.m. Tara Dublin and I are doing a show called The Tara Show. And I hope you have subscribed to that. And, yeah, we got no super chats, but that's okay. If you can, become a patron and all this other shit. Whatever. I can't do some e-begging. I'm done. I should just hang up. I'm done. Boom. Right? Look at Boudica. She's so good. All right, my friends. Thank you. And thank you, Jim, for being a moderator in the chat room. Buddha. Hi, honey. Look at her. She is good. Look how good she is. She's the cutest. All right. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for hanging out. My name is Tara Devlin. Become a patron if you can at patreon.com/Tara Devlin. If you want to keep, I don't know, if you want to have a fucking functioning America that works for more than just billionaires, then support the show. If you don't, then don't support the show. Okay? What can I tell you? We will win. Why? How? Well, we're on the right side of history. We're on the right side of decency, dignity, democracy, humanity. Look how cute. Look at how cute she is. My name is Tara Devlin. Thank you for hanging out. Come and hang out tomorrow afternoon if you can at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time at the Political Voices channel. That'll be nice. My name is Tara Devlin. And hopefully I'll put the Political Voices link in the description, but there's no direct link to the show yet. So if you join the channel, you'll see tomorrow when the show goes live. You can get notified through that if you hit the notification bell for the Political Voices channel. All right. My name is Tara Devlin. This is Francis. He just jumped up. Hi, Franny Fran. He's a good boy. And I will see you hopefully tomorrow afternoon at 2 p.m. I'll see you later.